Mo Learn Ting Jun. Hello everyone, this is Ji Sifu again from Teen Yet Dragon YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about some Taoism topic and introducing you some real wisdom from our lineage. So today's topic is going to be pretty sensitive because it will piss a lot of people off. And the topic is Tao Te Ching, Tao Te Ching. Okay, so when you research online about what is Taoism and such, and basically you bang into tons of stuff talking about the Tao Te Ching. So everyone is so fancy about this book and think like, hey, this Lo Ji guy, this guy with white hair must be very smart and stuff. And you got to understand this mysterious book for some reason to understand Taoism. And this video will tell you that this is not the truth. Because here you got this live dictionary right here telling you what Tao Te Ching is about. So I'm going to sum it up and really just like not quote from this book but tell you the whole thing, okay? So you'll be understanding what Tao Te is about and why we here, the Taoists here, need to understand this theory and what does it really do in Taoism. So a lot of people are reading this book and it's so vague. It's like, oh, you can put this into anything in your life, and basically it's just like something that you can put it into anything and use it, right? So how is it related to people who are actually called Taoists? I mean, look, the Western culture, Western people, okay, there are a lot of people who studied Taoism, especially the ones in school and stuff, okay? And you guys just study the history of Taoism. And then they say that there is this thing so-called philosophy Taoism, which is actually bullshit. Because there's no such thing. Philosophy Taoism is like, okay, this is the theory part of cooking. But there are chefs in this world. And chef knows the theory so that they can cook properly, right? Now, how can you split that up and say this is called theoretical theory cooking, and this is real cooking, okay? Kitchen cooking or live cooking, and this is like paper cooking. Only talking about the theory. Is that possible, right? So for us who really practice this thing, who are really into Taoism and Taoist magic, we see these kind of so-called philosophy Taoism is like a big joke in the internet. It's like crazy. Like, okay, so you like to study Taoism history, okay? Then you can say you're like someone outside of Taoism looking at Taoism and analyzing its history, but you cannot call that philosophy Taoism and make it a new subject. It's kind of weird, okay? So it's like people who cook and just talk about the theory of food, okay? Basically like that. Does it make sense to you, right? Now, how does this Tao Te Ching and the Tao Te theory apply into real Taoism and our practice? And why do we care? So here goes the real lecture that you need to know, and in order to understand all that Tao Te Ching stuff, okay? So I'll also point out some stuff that I usually bump by and people are so stubborn about in the Western culture. Now I'll tell you that this is actually a big mistake that you have been always making, like getting this thing wrong, okay? So if you're not open-minded enough, by all means, get the hell out of here and we will just skip this video and don't watch from here and on, because it will make your heart attack, okay? But if you are here to listen and your mind is open enough, stay tuned and you'll be loving this show. Okay, so let's move on. Tao Te Ching. First of all, we need to understand what is Tao and what is Te. Okay, there's two words. It's a Chinese word, and basically, it pretty much you can explain it as like a cycle. So Tao is like this, and then Te is like the other way around, so it circulate like that, okay? So it will go from A to B and B back to A. Now, what do I mean? Here we go. Tao. This word. Most people think that Tao is the way, but actually it's not. Tao actually generates and gives the way, but it is not the way itself, okay? Tao. This word means one drop of essence, one thing, okay? That brings a whole unit to move toward a destination. Okay, So one thing that makes a whole unit together move to one direction, move to a destiny. Okay, now it's like the founder of a company. He is the one Dao right here. He's the one thing that brings the whole company, the whole crew, the whole team of people to move toward a certain direction, right? Because he created a company, he have a mission, or he have something he wants to achieve, and that's why everyone move forward and keep doing work for him, right? So he's the Dao. The king of the country is the Dao, because the king leads the whole country toward a certain direction. Okay, the father is the Dao of the family, because the father gives the sperm to the mother, and the mother processes the sperm, get pregnant, and give birth to the baby, and there goes their destiny. So you cannot say the mother is the Dao of the family, because the mother don't give the sperm, so she's not the first one who start and carry the whole thing toward a certain direction. So it's the father who does it first, right? That's why he is the one that is the Dao right here. Okay, so yeah, and again, there's this stupid debate about, is it Taoism or Daoism? Well, who cares, right? Everyone knows it's the same thing that we're talking about. Okay, so be it Taoism, Daoism, or even Dou Gao in Cantonese. Okay, it's the same thing. So forget about those stupid small stuff. Okay, so we know what we're talking about. That's good enough. In Mandarin, they call it more like Dao. Okay, Dou, but in Cantonese is Dou Gao. So it's very different in any different dialects. So it doesn't really matter. But yeah, online most people search for Taoism with the T. T or D doesn't matter. Okay. Now let's keep going. This is the Dou. Dou is always providing, because it's like the father provide the sperm, provide this and that to the mother, and the mother process what is provided and give birth to a new thing. Like the founder of a company, he will provide all the ideas, resources, and then the workers will take them and process them and create the final product. The king will always provide everything that the people need, like his intention, his resources, his power and stuff, and then the other people will take that, process it, and do the work for him. So basically, Dou is always providing, and providing. Now, if he keeps providing, how can there be more to provide? It's like, if I keep giving money to people who work for me, how can I survive my life? Like, where do I get my money from then? Okay, so that is when the duck actually comes in. Well, the word duck in English, usually you say T-E, like te, but Cantonese, duck, okay? So duck, the word duck is to go back, okay? Give back to where you take from. So it's like the workers for the company worked and gain profit, okay? They sell stuff, okay? Sell the phone, sell whatever product. They got money and give back to the boss. So basically it's like something they earn, and then they give it back to the boss, the company, and the company can keep paying them for the salary. Very simple. Okay, so it's like the king give his power and all that stuff, all the resources to the workers, and the workers work for the king. So after that, there goes the result, and the result will bring something that the king needs and back to the king. So it's like tax, feedback from the people and all that stuff. Okay, so you get something back, and that's why you can keep giving, right? You cannot just keep giving and not get something back to regenerate or replenish. So this is the give back route. Basically, Dou and Duck is just like providing one source and then give back one source. If you can keep going like that, basically your cycle is not going to be broken. So in today's world, there's a lot of people who are very ideal, like their mindset is all a perfect world. So they always think that, oh, I will just give more. It's always good to give. But the thing is, no, because you got to take something back in order to keep on being able to give. And you don't just blindly give. You have to give with an intention of having something back later. Like, what are you trying to get because you cannot just give like, you got a worker, right? Workers, you're the boss, so you are giving, but you're like blindly giving a bunch of money, resources, okay, all these things, and you don't tell them what to do. Then all these workers will just take your stuff, swallow it, and go home, and they don't need to work. Then that means the duck cycle is broken. You destroyed your own cycle because you did not tell them what you want them to do with what is given. So it's like your son, okay? If you have a son, you're teaching your son or your daughter, okay? You're teaching them to spend money. So you give them money, right? First, you need to teach them how to spend, how to keep, and some theory about like spending and stuff, so they know how to use it, and they will give you a feedback. Feedback as in like they don't need to make money and give you back, give money back to you. They have to give back as in giving you a feedback, showing you what they have learned, and that is the result. Okay, that's what you need, and in order to keep teaching them, right? It's like student, teacher, that kind of thing. When the teacher teach and the student don't have any reaction, it's like teaching a wall. Well, think about that. The teacher teach and the student have no reaction. Next is the teacher will not be able to keep going because there's no reaction. So it's like talking to a wall, and the teacher just don't know what to say because there's no reaction. I don't even know if the student understand or not understand. How can I keep going, right? So you need to tell them, I'm going to teach you this, and then the teacher will have to tell them, now this is a quiz, okay? You answer. Oh, you don't understand? Now I can keep giving you more knowledge. You see? That's how a Dao should provide. Dao always provide, right? This root, and provide because you need to lead them to a certain destiny, certain ending, certain spot to make them success, to go to this point. That's what the Dao is supposed to do. So Dao is not the way. Dao generates and create the way for you, and because it created the way, so you can walk on this path and go to a certain destiny. For example, the teacher give you these knowledge and tell you to do homework and such, hand in the homework, so at the end you will be able to show the teacher that you understand or not, because she will mark your homework, and then next the Dao will understand how to provide the next assignment, how to prepare for the next class. Very simple, right? So Dao and Te is like that. Now, in order to understand this even better, we need to dig into the theory of Saam Choi, which is the what we call the three realms, but also the three stages. This is the Ting, Te, Yan. Okay, Ting, Te, Yan is sky, ground, and human. Most people translate it to heaven, earth, and human, which is really bad because when you talk about heaven and ground, and people think about those like heaven as in many gods and stuff up there. No. Okay, here sky, ground, and human. Human is not like human being. Sky is not the sky outside, okay? Not the one with cloud and sun. Ground is not the ground that you stand on. Now, what the hell is this then? Well, simply said, this is Taoism. So this is like a bunch of patterns, analyzing how nature works, and you understand how everything works. So how is it possible? Well, it is, because it's always like that. First of all, the Ting, the sky, okay, is where resources come from. Okay, this is the first station that provides stuff. Okay, Ting is like where things come from, and Te is where things got absorbed into. Okay, so it's like the Ting right here. Okay, the Ting, the sky, rain, and then the ground absorbed the rain, and because they absorb, processed it, and then whoosh, something come out. Maybe some flowers, trees, grass, or even just some moisture pop back out. Okay, whatever, but they absorb and then give birth to a final result, which is the Yan stage. So let's put this into real life practical situation. Like I go into the kitchen to cook, okay? So I, the Ting, go into the kitchen and then process, and then ta-da, there goes something, okay? So very simple. I explained this already in my Yiking's tutorial. Very simple, 3 stages. Okay, Now, in order to analyze anything, you need to first decide, or not decide, first find out which is the proactive side, which side moved first, okay? Which side moved first, and that is the Ting. So, okay, let's say you got a call from someone, okay, phone call, and you picked it up, and then, well, what happened next? Okay, so that's in that situation, the person calling you is the proactive side. He moved first, so he go into your zone and then process. So it makes you pick up the phone. So you reacted, and then the final reaction is whatever that came out of it. Okay, so he is the Ting, you're the Te. Okay, so very simple. You have to look at this, like analyze everything. Who moved first? Who provide first? And go into which side, and then what result to come out. Okay, for example, it's like I am going to play my flute right here. Okay, so I got a flute, and I'm going to describe. Okay, I'm going to describe this situation right now. So look. What happened is I provide air into the flute and music came out. So basically I am the Ting, this is my Te at this moment, and music is the Yan. Okay, the three things is very like not the same thing. It's like not me, not even look like me at the end, but basically that's the final product that's created. Okay, so the Ting, Te, and Yan came out. Okay, so that's the Ting, Te, Yan. Now, talking about the Dao De again, okay, Dao is always from the Ting, okay, the Ting into the Te and Yan. So basically it's a forward route, okay, always from top to down, okay, always like that, top to down. So in the Tao Te Ching, many people look at this passage saying that 上善若水, meaning like, oh, the sky is always like flowing like water, okay? So people are so fancy about this be like water kind of stuff, and it's so flexible, it's good for everything, and don't argue with people and stuff like that. Well, is that really the truth? Not really, okay? What it's saying is right here, what it's saying is, okay, when the Tao give, it's like water, okay? Water always go into something and get soaked up by something, okay? So water is also the 5 element water, not like the physical water that we're talking about when you drink water. So 5 element in our theory, okay? Gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. It's not about the physical element. It's not about the physical metal or gold, physical wood. No. Okay, it's not related. This is a metaphor. Okay, a metaphor that talks about the 5 stages of things. Now here I want to go through this 5 element very quickly. Okay, so gold. Okay, gold means to gather in, condense, and like get everything together. Okay, so pack up everything into a condensed form. In the process of eating, okay, the gold stage is when you put everything into your mouth and then chew it up and combine them into one smudgy, ugly, disgusting paste inside the mouth. And that is the gold, when you gather and everything inside, okay? Now, wood, okay, wood or water first, okay? You can say water. Water first. Water is to transfer, okay, to push down, it's like swallow, like that, okay? And then wood is to process, okay? Wood absorb that water, and what happened next is it processed the water inside, okay? And give birth to something. So when wood stage go in, okay, your body process that food that goes in, okay? It starts to process and change its form to make it ready for the digesting system. And fire is to activate, to give birth to, and to start up, okay, that kind of stuff, like a spark moment. So when fire started, the inside of your body sparked, and understand. Now everyone have to start moving inside here. All the organs wake up and start doing stuff. And then last stage is the earth, which is the absorbing. So it's like, okay, this engine started and everything started to be digested and stuff. Now it's time to absorb everything. Absorb and finish. And then when it's finished, the next cycle will start. So basically that's the 5 element cycle of most things. You can explain any happening with the 5 element. But anyway, talking about the water, okay? The be like water kind of thing, okay? Everyone thinks be like water is good, but not really, okay? What this passage in the Tao Te Ching is talking about is that the Tao is always like water. It always push things down, okay? Push things down. It's like the sky when you look up there, okay? The sky always push things down. And that's the job of being the sky or the Tao. Okay, that's the job. Your job is to keep pushing down stuff. Okay, like you're the boss, okay? Your job is not to do the work. Your job is to keep pushing down resources, ideas, and anything that you want to give to the processing guys to do the work. Okay, it's like the king. You don't need the king to be doing all the paperwork. He is supposed to give resources, give power, give authority, authorize this and that, and then make things keep moving, right? It's the worker who is supposed to work for the king. Also like the father. Father is supposed to give the sperm and not to process and get pregnant. If the father and the sperm came out and then put the sperm back into the father, he's not going to be able to get pregnant, right? That's not possible. So it's talking about everything in this world have its role, okay? And it's not about you should always be like water, because if you are always like the Tao, then what happened is, okay, if you are the worker in a company, you're supposed to play your role as the worker, but now you play your role like a boss, it's not going to work, okay? So you got to work, then you need to work. You cannot be like a boss, okay? So this passage, this whole thing about water, is just talking about the pattern of Tao when the sky, okay, the resource zone, when it's supposed to do its job, it's supposed to always just give, push down, okay, deliver stuff to the lower side, and then so the lower side can do the work and process the stuff given. Okay, so knowing about the Ting, the Yan, and also the Dao and Te root, now you should understand how easy it is. Okay, the whole thing is so easy. Basically, it's talking about how the Dao go. Okay, the top give to the ground and push back up, okay, above the ground and give birth to human. Now there's this passage that say, 天地不仁，以萬物為芻狗. It's like usually they translate it to something like nature have no feeling, and basically it treat everyone like a grass dog or something like that. Okay. Now this passage is funny because you don't understand what the metaphor here is talking about, and it's not about that the nature have no feeling. Okay, it's basically saying right here that the nature, the Ting and the Te, will not keep things, okay, because it's not their job to do it, and they treat everything above, like all the stuff above the ground, as grass stalk. And what it means by grass stalk, it means that grass, what does grass do? Okay, grass sucks up the water from the ground and it grows, okay, and it's alive. So basically you can say in a moderner, nice word, moderner term, modernized kind of example, okay, it's like we treat or nature treat everything that is alive right here as electronic devices with a plug, okay? So what happened is electricity comes up from the ground and plug into everything above and charge you up, okay? Now what they're doing in the old text is they don't have electricity, so they talk about water. Water gets soaked up into the ground. So water comes from the sky and go into the ground, soak up, and the ground now get all the water, right? And then later what happened? After it absorbed the water, processed it, and put their good stuff inside the water, okay, it soaked back up into the roots of plants and stuff. And what happened is these plants then got alive because all the water goes up, okay, it grows back to life. That's what happened in nature, okay? You see the grass go yellow and stuff. Next year, everything go green again when water goes in, because that's how nature works, and that is what the grass dog is about. Now, what's the dog thing about? Why not a grass human or grass something, right? Hey man, something like that? Nope. Not straw man and things like that. No, okay? Because dog means honesty, okay? It's a metaphor, 忠心, honesty, okay? Dog always is like, it has the property of being very honest and like it feels the heart energy of its owner, okay? It's more like that kind of feeling. So what happened is in nature, okay, the nature don't just give water, like charge back up, okay? It doesn't charge up to just anyone. It charge up to things that actually it likes, okay? Like what nature's heart energy feels like, it will link and charge you up. So it means that it's like this, okay? Simply said, it's like energy from the sky goes down to the ground and gets soaked up, processed it, and the ground here is like a department that sort out all these energies, okay? Now after the processing, it will decide where needs energy, or which is supposed to be the one that is supposed to fuel up, and then it will charge that energy back to whatever people, okay, whatever things that needs the stuff, they will charge it up, okay? It's like that. So in order to be the one that needs, you need to be able to click with nature. It's like your heart energy needs to sync with nature. So nature sends you need, then it will provide. So if you don't need, then nature don't provide to you, okay? So you need to want nature's energy, and nature will provide to you. It's like, okay, let's talk about this in a more easy to understand example. If we look at the Ting, okay, as the boss give money and stuff to the worker, and the worker produce product for the client, okay, so Ting, okay. Now the boss provide everything, the water, okay, provide everything to the worker. Worker make and create the thing. So at the end, this product is their human, their yan, okay, above. Now out of all the product, okay, which one needs more care and resources? Well, when the nature, meaning that the boss and this sensed which product in their all the product lines in the company need more work to update, or need more work to fine-tune, refine, then they will push that human power, okay, their effort to different lines of product. And because of that, then all their product will be energized, meaning that, oh, if this is flawed, they will fix it. This is not good enough, they will do some update, okay? Basically, it's just like that. It's very, very simple, right? So all the product in their company is like the grass dog right now. Which one is worth doing? Which one is worth investing more money on? Then they will put more resources in. And who does it? It's the worker, not the boss directly. It's the boss give money and stuff to the worker. Worker then look at, oh, which product should I like pay more attention to? Which one is good to invest on? Which one to promote more? Then they will push these resources to the product. Very simple. Okay? So if the product is not doing well and not worth doing, not worth continuing, then basically they will just stop giving their effort into this line and ditched it, right? Very simple. So yeah, it's really, really simple sometimes. Okay, so one more thing is Mo Wei, okay? They talk about this Wu Wei Mo Wei, okay, in Dao De Jing all the time. And usually when we talk about the Mo Wei, there's always the word Ting as well. So let's combine them together. So let's combine the 無為 and 清淨 together to explain this thing. Okay, 無為. Most people translate that to like no doing and empty, not doing anything. Okay, well that is not true. It's actually the opposite. Okay, 無. Okay, 無 is not nothing. 無 is not nothing. 無 is when it's like you have a place, like a table. Okay, there's a lot of things from different people. It's like there's Mary, John, Tom, and whatever, and some people, okay, they all put their stuff on the table. Now I say I want this table to 無, okay, to turn into 無 stage. Then what happened is all the objects go out and give to John, Mary, Tom, and everyone. So it's like everyone get what they're supposed to get, and that is why this is emptied. This is not empty because I throw everything away. It's empty because everything went to where they're supposed to go. That is the stage of 無. Okay? Now, if you want to use the word don't have, that is 無. It's the opposite of 有. So it's a very different word. It's a different word. It's not the same word. Okay? 無 is basically saying everything here it went to where it's supposed to. Like it just distribute everything to where they're supposed to go, and that's the word 無. Okay, 為 is for, like to do and to work for. Okay, it's like why are you here today? And then we'll say 為咗 whatever the reason. Then that means that you are here for doing something for this reason. Okay. So basically that's how Chinese works. And so 無為 together means to it's like to do all the stuff and push things forward. Don't keep grabbing on things that you're not supposed to do. You see in school, in work, and even any kind of team activity, you see people have this issue all the time, which is they love to be a control freak and hogged onto all the stuff and want to do everything by themselves. They cannot give things to other people. They don't let go. And they just keep grabbing on everything. They think everyone doesn't do a great job. Everyone cannot do this. And so he will do all the job. That's what happened. And that's what creates the chaos. Because the whole system is hanged there. Because he cannot do everything like that. He will be exhausted, and everyone cannot get their stuff to work on, right? So it's like that's why we have a nice plan, organized company structure, giving roles to different people. So when you're done with your role, you push it on to the other department. They do their stuff and push it on, and that's how a nice flow in a factory can happen. And so it's like in a family, in a country, in anything, you need to have this 無為, because it means to don't grab onto the stuff. Do whatever you're supposed to do and give it to the next station to continue. Even your digestive system does it. When you're done chewing, don't keep chewing, okay? No matter how long you chew it, it's done, then it's done. Swallow. Let the next station keep doing their stuff and absorb and stuff. Because no matter how much you chew, you cannot replace the work of the stomach anyway. Okay? So you have to let the stomach do it, not your mouth. That's the 無為. Okay? Some people like to keep chewing and not swallow. So that's the problem with their eating habit. Or some people have issues with their organs. So the stuff just stay here and don't know how to do the next job right here. And then basically that's how your body screws up. So 無為is not to be like empty, not doing anything, and it's basically to do everything, not to not do anything. It's to do everything that you're supposed to do and push things forward. Okay, that's 無為. Now the word 清淨, okay, is always together with this thing. Okay, so let's talk about 清and淨. 清淨means 清 and 淨is two things. Okay, 清 is to transfer, to let things absorb. Okay. So give it to somewhere that needs to absorb it. So it's always from the teen, the sky zone. Remember, this is a pattern, okay? Like the boss, the father, okay? It's a pattern. So when you 清, it's always to push things from one station and be absorbed by the next station. Okay, so that's the word Ting, and there are always 3 stages to this, so we call this the Saam Ting. Now in your body, okay, you can say that your head right here is the boss. Okay, so you put food into the body to your body system by going through the 3 Ting system. The first is the Sheng Ting, upper deck, okay, from outside to go into the mouth. Next is the Yok Ting, the Jade Ting, which is what? Which is the inside processing to make it transform that stuff into something your body can consume. So I take the chicken and stuff, put into my mouth, I have to chew it and transform it to something my body can intake. The next is the Tithing, which is the extreme, the last, okay? This is to swallow and push it down into the system. That's the Tithing. So in your whatever example, the boss or whatever, it's like the boss take resources from outside, go into his account, process it, transform that into the company's money, and then he push it to the worker, and now the worker can have it. Very simple, okay? Or you can say the boss take money from his own pocket, put it into money plus a project, and then give it to the worker. Now the worker can have it. So that's basically the 3 Ting, okay? Now after that is the Jing. Jing is what the ground's supposed to do. It's the 3 stages of absorbing. So basically what happened is, first they have to absorb this thing into, okay, and then they have to process that, and then they have to start it up to do it, okay, to do whatever they're supposed to do. That's the absorbing and processing and purifying. Now purify doesn't mean to like, oh, purify water, very clean water come out, okay? No, purify mean to transform or to make this thing be like one as whatever is given. It's like this, okay? I want to purify you with black ink, so your whole body will be pure black, okay? I want to be purifying this with into pure gold, so I dip it into gold ink. See? So whatever you purify is like, I give you watermelon juice. I want to purify you into watermelon. Now, after you do this bath, soak yourself for like 24 hours, you will turn into a very watermelon smelling person. You are purely like a watermelon. Okay? So that's the Jing. So Ting and Jing is like the Dao, right? Provide downward. And then Mo Wai is like to shove it shove things from this station to the next, and so that it can create something out of what is given. So basically the Ting Jing Mo Wai is a very easy to understand concept. Basically it just means to give, and then to process, and then to push it to wherever it needs and make something out of it. That's why, okay? So in the Dao De Jing, usually you see people talking about this Mo Wai as like don't do anything, and it's like doing no, okay? It's really not that. Okay, so whenever you need stuff, you should whenever you're in need of resources, you should always take and take and take from the Tao. If there's not enough, you should request. When you need you should always request and take, and you should always keep taking to start something that is not started, or to put it into something that is already started. This is also coming from a little passage from Tao Te Ching as well. Now this is like your boss, okay, is providing money and resources and plan and stuff. When you're doing stuff, if you're a good worker, you should always take and utilize all that stuff to the max potential. If you don't have enough, you go back to the boss and tell the boss, so the boss can keep providing. Now, if you have new ideas, new product that you think should be done, you can also tell your boss and request from the boss. That's what happened in a good company. So that's how the company can work properly. Now, how does all these things, all these theories right now, okay, be applied into Taoism? The stuff that we practice, okay? Now that is the meat of this video. How do you actually, like, why do you need to, first of all, why do you need to get ordained into a lineage? Because what is your Tao? That is the question. So if you are just a normal person, your own Tao, what is your Tao, your Dao? What is your boss? Now, we're talking about the boss of your life. So that is your Yun San, which is your spiritual planetary body. Search up my show on Yun San. Okay, I have a full talk on that. YUENSUN, Yun San, on YouTube. Basically, it's your personal spiritual planet. Okay, and this is where all the pre-heaven energy that you should be getting for your whole life. Okay, this is like your resource pool. Now, if you are just by yourself, you're not ordained, you're always going to take from your own Yun San. If your Yun San have nothing to take or not much to take, then you're pretty much just like that. Okay, so it's like taking money from your own bank. There's always an end to this, and it's going to be like non-stop juicing out stuff out of your own life, and it really doesn't work. Okay, so you must ordain into a lineage. Because why? Because a lineage have its own Tao. All the lineage or sect in Taoism, they're all different, and they are all connected to different pre-heaven energies, pre-heaven things. Okay, and what happened is you ordain into that lineage, and you accept and submit yourself, accepting that this is your new Tao. So in our lineage, it's like you ordain into our lineage, okay? You accept and submit yourself into Saam Law, okay? Saam Law, Dai Law, Ting, this pre-heaven space. And so, this is your new Tao. We are connected to Saam Law, Zhou and such. So this is like a, not only your bank account, this is now a joint bank account. It's like a company bank account, okay? Now there's a lot of people who invest in this every day, and a lot of people who draw things out from it every day. And this thing will keep growing and growing and growing. Your bank account don't have the stuff that these lineage bank account have, okay? So you need to get ordained, be part of one of these accounts in order to start learning and utilizing these things. And because you do that, it's not going to draw things out of your own life. It's going to draw things out of this shared account. And everyone in the lineage will contribute to make this even better every day. So it's a very, very smart way to learn, okay? Now, what's next is the wisdom, the knowledge, the Taoist magic. All these things are pumped out from this whatever account that your lineage is connected to. It's like here, our magic, the lineage, the wisdom, everything comes from Saam Law, Zhou, okay, that we're connected to. Now, if you are in an other lineage, not in my lineage, you don't have this relationship with the Saam Law, Zhou, that we are connected to. So you cannot use the magic, the method, the spells, and all that stuff that we have in the lineage, because it doesn't work for you. If you're not part of the lineage, it doesn't work for you. So once you ordain into a lineage, you become part of it, then everything that this source pumped out, okay, for the lineage will work when you use it. So Taoism is not something that you can learn from reading books. It's something that you need to inherit, because you go into the lineage, be part of the system, and this source that pumps out all that stuff for the system will accept you and allow you to draw the power and make the thing work. Okay? Now, being a good Taoist in a lineage is very important, meaning that you have to practice and cultivate the way of the Tao, meaning that, okay, the Tao for us here, okay, is like where our stuff come from, Saam Law, Zhou, okay? So we have to practice, to absorb, to take, to request, to use all these things that Saam Law, Zhou have passed on to us. And it's like, okay, I need to keep learning, learning the wisdom, learning the knowledge, using the magic power, using the magic methods, and applying all these things. It's basically to take, use, and enjoy juicing up from the Dao, okay, from your Tao, which is right here, the Saam Law, Zhou. So you keep juicing up, okay, keep taking. Now, that is great if you can keep taking and learning, because there's a lot of people who get ordained and they act like a piece of soap in the washroom. They don't even move, okay? They just sit there and then let them, okay? So, yeah, you don't learn anything like that, okay? If you ordain and you just sit and wait, it doesn't work. You can't learn anything, okay? So being a good Taoist, the first thing is be proactive in learning. That's what I say all the time. Proactive in learning. Ask questions. Do what you're supposed to do. Practice. Don't just sit and make tons of excuses for your lazy bum ass is glued to your chair and not move, okay? So ask questions, practice, request, and things like that. So that's basically the Tao roots, okay? You keep juicing up stuff. Now to cultivate the Ta, okay, the Te, going backward, to give back. How do you give back? Well, being a disciple, you give back to three things. First, you have to give back to the teacher side, the master. Okay, if you're ordained here, you give back to me and other sifu who guided you in the lineage. And secondly, it's the ground that absorbs all these power for you, which is your altar. So when you have an altar, you learn to give back to the altar. And then the third is the Ting, which is the Dao, the Saam Law Sun Gung, the source. So you give back to the pre-heaven source. Now, how to give back? Okay? Well, there are always three stages of giving back, which is the Saam Tak, the three kinds of Tak. The small Tak comes from the heart, okay? So it's inside you. It didn't come out yet. And so it's called small. By having a small conclude, a small Tak, okay, inside, meaning that your heart have to feel grateful, feel thankful, and your heart appreciate that kind of mindset. It's not showing up. It's inside your heart. Every day, a good Taoist must always cultivate this small virtue, meaning that inside your mind, you always have to feel and be grateful, happy, and think. Because you feel like that, it pushes and motivates yourself to keep going and keep learning. That's why you need this Tak. It pushes yourself and power yourself up to keep going. Now the next Tak is middle. Okay, this is small. Now it's middle, medium. Okay, medium. Why it's called medium? Because this is going to keep going while you output, and it stops when you stop. This is output by like typing, talking, okay, that kind of stuff. As long as you are doing it, okay, the other side can see and hear. When you stop, it stops. They cannot keep anything. Okay, the other side cannot keep anything at the end. That's the middle. So it's like you got some stuff learned from me while I'm teaching you, right? I talk, type. Then when you're done learning, you say, oh, thank you for teaching and stuff like that. That is medium. Very simple, right? Medium concluding. Medium virtue. Very simple. Okay, so when you receive something medium, like a talking kind of lecture, okay, then you say something back to a feedback. You can always give this kind of talk as in a feedback. You don't have to say, oh, thank you for whatever. You can be giving back like a response by asking more questions, showing that you're very curious. You know, like when you teach a student, you want a student to ask questions so that you understand the student don't understand this or he's interested, then you will want to tell him more, right? That's the medium conclude, medium virtue. Now, what is the big? The big is the last one, which is something that the other side can keep, and that is why it's the big. So big is usually done by using action, your hand, and also some kind of material stuff that they can keep. For example, at the end of the month, our disciple will give a certain amount of money, like a donation, but it's not a donation, okay? It's like a bit of money that to thank the lineage and the master here for teaching them. So this money amount is decided by yourself, but basically it have to show your heart, meaning that I feel grateful for this teaching, and that is why I'm giving this money. Now, if you feel very grateful and you only give like $5, then you got a problem with your mind, okay? Because it shows that you are not appreciating, okay? Now, if you have financial problem you're like under some crisis and stuff. That's a different story. But for a normal person, we teach our disciple to cultivate this big the big virtue by thinking about how you eat. So think about a meal. It's like treating your master to the master to a meal every month, like for dinner, something like that. So it's a very, very common sense thing. Okay. Now in Canada here, okay, if you give $5 to me, I cannot even go for a full meal in McDonald's. Okay, a single burger without a drink is $4.50 or 60 something cents without tax. After tax, it's like $5 or $6. So if you give me $5, what are you supposed to give me? Like what are you supposed me to buy out of this thing, right? It doesn't make sense. And that is McDonald's. We're not even talking about going to a proper restaurant, okay? And you're treating your master to this place. How much respect do you have for this master? Okay? So think about it. It's like, ask yourself, does it make sense? Are you really like looking like very ugly here, very disgusting, showing that's your respect, giving him $4 or something? Okay, it doesn't make sense, right? So you think about how you eat. How you eat, how much is one of your meal? Your meal is maybe like $10 meal, something like that. When you treat your master, you should be thinking, oh, this is my master. I'm going to treat him something good. It's just once a meal, once a month. Maybe I will bring him to a good restaurant, $20 a meal, something like that, or a little bit more. That makes more sense, right? Logical, okay? Imagine you treat your grannies to the meal and you only see them like once a month. See, you want to bring them to something better than usual. That's how you show your appreciation. Now, for our better or senior disciples, they have a lot of appreciation to show because they actually love being in the lineage. So, for example here, okay, right here. Now, I got some nice gifts from my disciples in Singapore, okay, and they actually brought me some nice beef jerky, which is a specialty from Singapore. This is one of them, and I got one more package right here, and they actually shipped this by FedEx, and it's pretty pricey to ship these things, over $100 to ship it, but very tasty, and I cannot buy it in Canada, so it shows me their love. Now, today I also got a gift from my disciple in USA, which is a bottle of Japanese whiskey, and this is very tasty too. Now, he and she shipped it by UPS or something, and by FedEx. Yeah, FedEx, and it's pretty pricey shipping this thing. It cost like the whole thing cost over $100, but it shows their heart right here. Appreciation is the key. Okay, so this is something I can keep, and they won't keep anymore. Okay, so this is a big conclude what I say. Okay, a big tuck. When you have this big tuck, it's something that you don't have anymore, and you give it to the other side. That's why it's called big. Big is when you fully output, so you don't keep anything. Okay, so when you talk, you can keep your air when you stop. But when you give something solid, then I can keep it, right? I cannot keep your word if you don't write it on paper. You see? So basically, that's the big, small, and medium way to do the concluding, to return, to give back. When you do these, it promotes the next Tao cycle. So the Tao, okay, or the lineage, can provide you things again. Okay, provide you what? Provide you with the connection to the lineage power source. Okay, to make your spells and things work and transfer you the power, and then to bring you to success and be able to learn stuff and keep the skills and knowledge. You see, you can be learning a lot of stuff and not keeping anything. Do you know that some people can go to a course, they can keep learning something, and at the end it feels like they didn't keep anything and everything is gone. See? Sometimes you go to school, you learn so many things in school, right? When you're done, you graduate, you forget everything. Because you didn't keep things that you learned. Everything is forgotten. You see? Now, with the big conclude, it makes sure that things that you got is going to be in you and kept. And it promotes a healthy cycle. for the thing to keep going. Okay, so in any lineage, in every sect, when you learn, you need to understand what is the Tao, which is your boss, okay, and where provides you the stuff, and then how to give back. It should be a very clear and definite thing. It's not abstract, it's not vague. And look, you do not give back by, okay, I learned magic in this lineage right here, okay, now my give back is going to donate to wildlife, whatever, and the polar bears. It doesn't make sense, because the polar bear didn't give anything to you. Why are you giving back? You didn't even take, right? In order to give back, you need to first take. Now, when did you take things from the polar bear? Never. So people who think that, oh, I donate my blood to here, I give money to this charity, that have nothing to do with the lineage you're learning from. Being a Taoist, you cannot be a blind Taoist, meaning that you cannot just blindly shove your money, your love, and everything to everyone. You don't do that. You only remember, tak, okay, the word tak means to give back to where you take from, okay? And that's why they can keep giving later on. Okay, you can take more later on. Now, if you like, okay, you got love and stuff from your parent. Okay, you give back to this parent. You don't give back to other parents and then expect the other parent to be happier. Then your own parent don't get anything. Okay, does it make sense? So the real Dao and Te must be very defined. You need to understand which is the Tao, which is the Te. What role are you right now, like currently playing? Are you the boss or are you the worker? Which one are you? Okay, now you need to understand, should you be giving back or should you be providing? So you don't provide to other things that is not relevant to you. When you ordain into this lineage, okay, you want to learn the wisdom, the knowledge, the magic and stuff from our lineage. You take from our lineage, you give back to our lineage. You do not give back to other lineages. Even they're all called Taoism, they're not the same, because that's why they're different names, they're different lineages. It's like school, okay? You learn in this school, you give back to this school. You don't go to other schools just because they're also called schools, right? So Taoism is like that. Even they're called Taoism, they're not the same lineage. You don't go to other places to give back, okay? Don't do that. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. So basically, that's the whole thing about Dao and Te cycle. And it's always like a wheel. It goes on and on and on and on. And basically, that's what Dao Te is about. Now, should you and do you have to read the book Tao Te Ching? Basically, I should say, you don't. To learn Taoism, you don't. Okay, because we are a Taoist, we're not a preacher. We don't need to learn things from the dead people like this, because a lot of people today, you don't understand ancient Chinese words. You don't understand how the ancient people talk. Their grammar and stuff is already long lost. What you see today about these translated versions are all just interpretation from the modern people trying to translate it, but they're all wrong. And it gets you very confused, cloudy, and vague, because what you're missing is a real person with the knowledge that can pass it on to you with understandable, modernized words like how I'm doing right here. Now, after this video, you already understand what is Dao and Te. Very simple. You don't need to read that book. You don't need to dig into it forever. It's just a simple theory. It's not so hard. But once you understand, you apply it to everything in your lineage, your learning and everything, then it promotes a nice development, it promotes a nice future for you. And this actually reach to a deeper knowledge about you and how your Yun San and your soul and all these things work because of this Dao Te theory. So yeah, pay attention to other shows and you will know all these deeper theory. But the main point for this video is Tao Te Ching, the book. Throw it away. You just need to understand what is Dao Te, and basically you will understand the Dao Te of everything. Okay, you can apply it to everything. Okay, so 3 examples to end this video. First, if you are like a military guy, okay, you work for the government, what is your Dao Te supposed to be? Well, you are the worker. The military provide to you, right? So you work for the the government provide to you, and you work to provide peace for the country. Okay, so you are supposed to always take and take and take from the government and do your work. So you're supposed to do the mo wai and such. Okay, provide and create whatever you're supposed to create. So after you're done, okay, with your job, you give back to the government. Give back what? Give back the result. That you're like showing that, oh, you are worth paying. That's why I hired you. That make the government very happy, and the government earned whatever you created, right? And then the government can keep paying you. Now, next, being a student in school. What is your Tao and Te? Okay, Tao Te, being a student in school. Okay. Now, in school, you absorb the knowledge from school. So the school is the Tao right here. Okay. The school provide to you, and you absorb, and then what you create? Well, you create a feedback, right, for the school to understand how you learn. So what you want to do is, well, I want to keep absorbing all that stuff being taught to me in school, and then I'll give the result as like, okay, I will be doing well in the tests and stuff, and then I show the school. I give back my response by showing my grades and stuff to the school. School knows I'm doing well or not well. It will know how to provide me with future teaching. That's the Tao and Te cycle. Very simple. Okay. One more thing. Let's say Tao Te of maybe me and the flute right here. Okay, me and the flute. So I'm the Tao. I'm providing my air and finger to the flute. So I am supposed to keep providing my air, my effort, and stuff to the flute. Now the flute gives me feedback as the Te, okay, as the give back. So when it gives me the feedback like, oh, the sound is not good, right here is leaking air and stuff, then I will understand and be able to provide it with something new, like, oh, I need to glue this, some care here and there, and by doing so, I will keep providing, and it will keep giving me a feedback. So everything is like that, yin and yang, simple. It's always give and then feedback, give, feedback, and everything just go like that all the time, and that's why nature can keep going. So basically, it's like a wheel, keep rolling on, and that's what all Tao Te Ching is about. So now in this video, you understand Tao Te, and it's time to burn that book up and move on. Okay, so if you want to learn this Taoism, Taoist Magic stuff from us, you can always visit our website below, email us and get started. You can get ordained online and such. And basically, that's all for today. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.